Hi everyone, this is Noah Sandler from Mtgo Academy, and today we're going to be doing a Shadows of Innistrad 8-4 single elimination draft. So let's jump into queue. And I'll remind everybody that I started doing limited coaching again, so if you're interested, send me a message on Twitter at Nova Sandler, or on Twitch, Moto Grinder, Moto Grinder 1. Make that twitch.tv/MotoGrinder1. Okay, so this pack is not very good. Invocation of Saint Traft, I tried that in a blue-white deck, and it is playable, kind of like a 23rd card. It's a very high variance, so your opponent has removal, you're pretty upset. But if you have a lot of flying creatures, which blue-white should have, it gives you the potential to race quickly. So there's some good red cards, an Inspiring Captain. We'll just take a Mad Prophet over a Forge Master. Mad Prophet's just a little more powerful. And, passing some red cards, but nothing particularly madnessy, so maybe we can move into madness and people behind us can get into a different red archetype. So Deadweight, Pack Guardian, Pious Evangel, and Angelic Purge are the best cards. There's also Reduced to Ashes, so I think it's between Pack Guardian and Deadweight, because Deadweight, Black-Red Madness goes with the Mad Prophet, and Pack Guardian is definitely the better card than Deadweight. So that's kind of what you have to decide is, do you want to move in on the Madness archetype, or just take the more powerful card and go from there. I think this is really close for me because Red-Black Madness is my favorite archetype, so I do love drafting it. But I think just pick two. I think it's early enough just to take the most powerful card, and could still be Red-Black Madness, but could also go into a variety of different green archetypes as well. So we'll take the Pack Guardian. So Ulvenwald Mysteries is actually quite good. Bound by Moonsilver, definitely the best card. I think it's kind of hard to pass it. You kind of have to take it as at least somewhat of a signal. Someone took a common over it, so I think I'll take that here. But Mysteries is very good too. We already have a green card. We'll go for Bound. And another Bound by Moonsilver. A lot of good white cards here. Missionaries, Vessel, Drifter. Hope Against Hope is also pretty good. I think it's better than the Invocation. I guess they're really different cards because Hope wants you to have a lot of creatures, and Invocation just wants you to have one evasive creature. But because it gives first strike, and in a deck with just a lot of creatures, your opponent killing one creature isn't the worst thing. So I think it's actually pretty good. But we'll take Bound by Moonsilver. And so there's a Hope Against Hope, Just the Wind, Dire Swine, and Moldgraf Scavenger. And Cathar's Companion. This is also fine. It's similarly valuable to Hope Against Hope, I think. Usually not a card I'm really disappointed to pass. There's just so many good 3-drops in the format. One thing is, green-white Delirium can be a thing, so I could consider Scavenger or Dire Swine. And Hope Against Hope, I do think it's pretty good. So I think I will take it here. I'm just worried that I don't have any white creatures yet, and this card wants a high creature count. You can also take Just the Wind, which is probably the best overall card in the pack, but I don't like blue too much in this format. So unless I see a really big signal. Well, there's a Spectral Shepherd. This is a great blue-white card, so I think I'll take that. Provisioner and Confront the Unknown are also good. And Unruly Mob is fine, but Shepherd can be really good in blue-white, so I guess I'll take that and consider blue-white here. I suppose the invocation might table as well, which, yeah, I'm not even really interested in it, but if we do end up with like more actual creatures, it could be good. So late Pale Rider, Nahiri's Machinations. I imagine we'd only want that in red white, though. I suppose it's possible red white. There's also Drownyard Explorers, which I think is more likely to make the cut, given we saw very little red and we also passed a good amount of red. I mean, Machinations is definitely more powerful if we're in red-white. And maybe, like, I just don't think we're going to see red anywhere in the draft, so I think I'm just going to take the Explorers. So, Town Gossipmonger. I like this card. So far, I haven't actually lost one to its have to attack ability, where I was unhappy. There just aren't that many huge creatures that you can't just pump to trade with. And it gets damage in really quickly, so I like that here. Strength of Arms, I think over Ghostly Wings. I don't think we want any more auras, but a combat trick could be okay. And I suppose Woodlands. Do I want Woodland Stream? Maybe I'll just take Confront the Unknown in case we go for green-white. So I don't think it's like we could maybe be 3 colors. It kind of seems like. You know, taking a card that's in both of our, you know, potential second colors could work out. But I think we're probably just going to be one or the other, so I'll just take a good combat trick. I got late Storm Rider Spirit. Suppose Fork in the Road could be playable if we go into Delirium. There's not too many enablers in green-white. So it looks like blue-white at the moment. There's a great pack for white. So it's possible we put someone behind us into white. It was mostly that one pack that we passed with like 3 other good white cards. I think pack 2 should be good, especially because we can kind of just move into whatever second color is passed to us. I mean, it might be red. Like, we passed some good red cards, and then it got cut pretty hard, so maybe we would see red pack 2. I think it's more likely that we see just more blue. It seems really underdrafted or at least normally underdrafted at the table, because it does tend to be underdrafted in this format. So there's a Sorin. Yeah, we'll take the Sorin. It's probably worth enough ticks. And, you know, try to splash it. It's really, really powerful. I don't think there's much chance that I go into black, but I certainly could, but definitely at least for a splash. And passing a Cathar, which would be the next best card. So this Sorin is going to make me lean more towards fixing as well as card draw. This card draw also does a job of fixing. Tamiya's Journal, Forsaken Sanctuary, Harvest Hand, Veteran Cathar. So, how good would Journal be? Haven't played with this card. My thought is that it's a good card. Like 2 mana to draw a card for 5 mana, like every turn, I think is pretty good. So it's that or the Sanctuary. I do want to draw I do want to get fixing. I mean, I suppose our deck isn't super aggressive at the moment, so it might be a good spot for Journal. Like we could be more like blue-white Clues rather than like we get rid of the Hope Against Hope and go for more of a grindy Spirit game. Now we got the Sorin. So I think I'm going to go in that direction. Also, if we wanted to be green-white, you could take like Cathar, try to table the Sanctuary, but we'll go with the Journal. Throbbing Inspector, Throttle, Altered Ego. If we had that splash, we could try to go 4 colors, but didn't pick up the green-blue land. I wouldn't really be interested in doing that anyway. So there's a Fiery Temper. Not Forgotten is actually better than I thought. So it puts a card from the graveyard on top or bottom of the owner's library. So you could put a card from your own graveyard. So like they kill your Sorin, we can get it back and get a 1 flyer. And you can also put a card that your opponent wouldn't want to, to make them basically miss a draw. So it's between Throttle and Throbbing Inspector. And I think I'm just going to take the Inspector. So we have Journal, so I'm kind of thinking we could go for a bit of a clue theme for blue-white. And we also just need more creatures. And Throttle is fine on the splash, but I don't think we want to be black-white, and I don't really want to like mess with our mana yet too much. And there's another Throbbing Inspector, Soul Swallower, Nibelus of Dusk. I think we'll take the Nibelus. Another good spirit. And nothing here, so pretty much getting cut this pack, but I think this pack will still turn out okay. Might just take the Courier. Guess Stitch Mangler. We could take Hunter and consider green-white. I mean, I guess our blue isn't really anything, so we'll take the Hunter. Could also take Expose Evil, but I'll go with Hunter. So we have Vessel or Byway Courier. I mean, I do expect to see a lot of good blue in the last pack. So this is kind of a tough decision whether to stay with green or go with blue. But I think I'll just take the Courier. We'll try for green right now. And Ox versus Watcher. Also Survive the Night. I think I'll take Watcher. It has the biggest upside of any of them. It's really good in some matchups. So I think I'm just about all in moving in on green right now. Could get punished a bit in the last pack. The good news is that blue just isn't that great of a color, so it's hard for us to get punished too badly. Mostly if in the first couple packs, if there's just some super bomb blue rares and uncommons, I think that's the way that we might get punished. I'm not too concerned if there's just solid blue cards throughout the pack, because the blue cards just aren't as good as other colors in this format. I'll take a Quilled Wolf here over Warp Landscape. I do want to be able to fix, but I mean, we have no 2-drops right now, so I don't think I can pass up on the Wolf. And Vessel of Nascency or Provisioner. Usually want to go with Provisioner. We've got a couple 3-drop humans. Vessel, like, it does help a little bit with fixing for Sorin. I think I'll take Provisioner. And Not Forgotten, and Solitary Hunter. So we didn't get the white-black land back. At the moment, I think I'd prefer it over the Journal, but I'm not sure how good Journal is, so it might end up being better than I think. And then we could, we have some other clue effects, so we could maybe just search for Sorin. Another good thing is, since we are black, white, green, for next pack we're going to get 2 chances, the black, green, and the black, white dual lands. So we have a higher than normal chance of actually ending up with some fixing. And another Pack Guardian, take that over Patrol, and Angelic Purge. Kind of makes me want to play a little higher land count. Maybe we'd go up to 18. So you want to have the extra land to discard a Guardian. And we're Militia Captain. Yeah, I mean, we'll try to go for a higher creature count. Luckily, the Pack Guardians make 2 creatures, so it helps a little bit, and then clues can draw us into other creatures, so we should be able to flip this reasonably well. I like to pick up a Vessel, some card that makes multiple creatures, and then be able to get the Hope Against Hope back into the deck. Can definitely just play the Spectral Shepherd regardless, just as a Windrake. So Dauntless Cathar. Yeah, even though I do want Vessel, Cathar also makes 2 creatures, and it's just a better card in general. So Vessel, True Faith Sensor, Crawly Sensation. So I think it's between Vessel and True Faith Sensor. So Sensor, do have a lot of humans, so I can give +2/+1 and Vigilance to a lot of creatures. This might be our last chance for fixing, so it's kind of close, and I don't think we have anything else that takes advantage of like Delirium at all. So I mean, Vessel isn't great fixing in that sense. It's an okay card by itself just for some card selection, but it's a little expensive for the effect, so I'll just take True Faith Sensor. There's a Foul Orchard. I'm going to take that really high here, but there's nothing else that's that close. The Geist is fine. Yeah, so I'll take the Orchard. And Aim High versus Inspiring Captain versus Loam Dryad. This pick is actually very close. I think all 3 of them would be good. I do like Inspiring Captain a lot in just like heavy creature decks, and that's kind of where we're ending up. Aim High is one of the better combat tricks, and then Loam Dryad, it is fixing. We do have some other cheap creatures, and then it could help us ramp. So normally it's weaker, but with the Sorin, it becomes a little bit tempting. And we have a lot of 4s already. So I think I'm actually going to take the Loam Dryad. I think it's that. I think Aim High is maybe second, just because we have so many 4s. And Emissary versus Deadweight. I think we can probably splash the Deadweight. Emissary's decent. It could make 2 creatures. I haven't found that its ability triggers that often. So a lot of times it is just a 2/4 flyer, but we'll go with the Deadweight on the splash. So Fork in the Road, we already have one on the board, we're not going to run 2. So we'll just take a Murderer's Axe that I don't think we're going to play. So I think Hope Against Hope is going to be cut, and I can just board in matchups where people don't have like bounce spells or a lot of cheap removal. I think I'd prefer to just have a combat trick, another combat trick. Stoke Builder does have a combo with the Pack Guardians. Definitely not running 2. I'll just hate the Twins. I think it's usually better than Arsonist. And definitely a card like you don't want to have to play around. And we've passed an Era of Falconwrath as well this direction, this pack, so wouldn't want to get those to the same person. Murderous Compulsion, probably just for board if we need like a lot of ways to deal with big creatures. Would we want Fork in the Road? That's kind of cool with the Builder. And it fixes. Is that worth it? I don't think so. We're still kind of a creature tempo deck. I suppose we don't have a ton of 2-drops, but we've got a good number of 1s, and to come and play tap land. So Builder and Sensation go out. Probably want the Watcher, don't have many 5s. I think 17 lands is fine. Considered 18, but only 2 5s and 1 6. And we have the Loam Dryad that can help ramp, so I don't think we need the extra land. And this looks pretty good to me. I don't want to put the third black card in. I think right now I'd put in, I think, 2 swamps, but I could maybe go for 1. My green requirements are pretty high. Loam Dryad turn 1, and then the 2 Pack Guardians on turn 4. So Moto says basically 9, 6, 3, and I definitely need 7 for white. I've got some 1-drops in white. I would want 8. So this is 9 for green. That's definitely right. I don't think I can go to 8. And then I think I'll have to cut a swamp. So it is 3 sources if you include the Loam Dryad. So it's a little short, but Sorin's a late game card. And Deadweight is also fine at any point of the game. So, I mean, last thing I could do is cut 1 more card to get 1 more swamp in, and then I think mana base would be a little more reasonable. Maybe Town Gossipmonger, since we only have 7 planes, so I mean, it is a card you want to have on turn 1. I don't like cutting creatures for Militia Captain and some of the pump spells. And I've got equipment and some pump spells I can put on Gossipmonger for later in the game. I think I'll go with this. So the mana is a little bit off. So what did I take? Yeah, I took the Journal over the white-black land. I think to fix the mana, I think I would sacrifice the Journal, but Journal could also be very good here. So we'll submit, and I'll see you for round 1. Okay, ready for round 1. So we will keep this hand. I was having a little bit of second thoughts about, the 18th land versus the whatever it's called, that Town Gossipmonger. And I think it's really close. What's getting me to lean towards the Gossipmonger right now is that I just haven't been failed by that card yet. I do think that it's possible as I get more experience in the format that the card doesn't work as much as it has been. So on 7 lands, it's not really enough to play a 1-drop, like a card you need on turn 1. I think Gossipmonger is also fine, turn 3, turn 4. Like you play it on turn 4 with another 3-drop. I think it's okay, but I'll definitely consider going to the 18th land after board, because it might just be right with the Pack Guardians. So Pious Evangel is very good. We will just, I mean, honestly, I'm happy to trade these here, but then I'm just taking more damage back, so I'll just pass. So, opponent does have a Constable, a couple mana up. They could have a Murderous Compulsion that they'd want to put down. We can go for Provisioner and get in for 4. Or just go for Solitary Hunter and see if it could flip. And I think the Hunter is a little better. I don't like waiting on Pack Guardian to try to get our opponent here, because they've just got 2 cards that make sure that they're never just gonna get blown out where I just Ether Drifter. Best case scenario, I force them to discard a card, maybe a Madness card, um, or they could just use their Evangel to sack the Drifter. Tapped out my 3/4 and then attack with both. I mean, like I said, I'm happy to trade the Captain for the Evangel. I mean, within a turn or two, it's going to get to the point where my Captain's going to then gain more value as I might be able to flip it, and then it's going to become unstoppable. And I suppose with one land, I'm there. So I guess I will take the damage. The opponent could have something like Tenacity. So flips the one of the pack. Opponent could have a Silver Strike. I don't think it's Silver Strike though. Like they could have a Silver Strike, but I mean this play sort of seems like they have some kind of combat trick. I do think Pack Guardian could be nice for next turn. But we could just go for a Provisioner, pump up the Captain, and attack with both. I think I like that. And it gives opponent at least a little bit of a difficult decision if they have the Silver Strike on which creature they should kill. And again, I don't think it's Silver Strike. I think it's more likely maybe Tenacity. Okay, I have a Silver Strike. Again, could be Silver Strike, but I'm trying to say, like, you know, what it feels like more with their attack. So they might have Silver Strike plus a combat trick, something like that. A little surprised opponent went for the pre-combat Tooth Collector. And perhaps they're just not a very good player. Man, I really don't mind trading for Evangel here. It gives opponent 3 card types, and Constable could get them the 4th. And I might have to deal with the flying Moorland Drifter. Watcher in the Web could help out a lot, though. I think I'm just fine with the trade here, though. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to get to 4 creatures, but I mean, I have 4 creatures in hand, so getting rid of the Evangel and not being able to get drained later in the game, I think, is pretty reasonable. And let's just go for a Watcher here. Would like to get the Journal out, but you know, Watcher might be able to just hold off opponents' attacks, or at least force them to use Constable every turn. I mean, that may not be the worst thing if they're just trying to get to Delirium, but it still stops them from, you know, progressing their board too much. Okay, Perish Blade. So they're definitely all in on Delirium. And we could just go for Shepherd, Loam Dryad, and flip our Militia Captain. I mean, we might get tapped down and an opponent gets in a big attack, but then we start making, our Captain gets big, and then we start making 1/1s, which, yeah, the Tooth Collector will definitely start taking out soon. So Captain's not as good. This opponent with Constable, they need a sorcery, artifact, enchantment. Then you just draw one, and it should happen eventually. Like, they're so focused on Delirium, I'm sure they're playing like random artifacts. So definitely don't play this Forest. So we have a Sorin Grim Nemesis that we could cast off the Loam Dryad here. And we could take out a creature. We could also just plus Sorin. And the problem with Sorin is we don't have quite enough defense yet. Worth noting, we can use Loam Dryad to return the Spectral Shepherd. Like, I'm kind of thinking we just wait on end of turn Pack Guardian. discard the land, and then next turn maybe go for Sorin. Because we have to tap 2 creatures, so we only have 2 left. I mean, Sorin could remove something, but I mean, all their creatures are kind of useful, and like I'd probably rather just draw a card off of it, keep its loyalty high. But then, Sorin has a chance of just going down. I think I can protect it a little better if I wait a bit. And any attacks, probably the Shepherd can go in. And what about the Cult Leader? Yeah, Cult Leader's good. I mean, I do have the Pack Guardian play, so I could induce opponent into getting too aggressive. I'm going to hold on to the Pack Guardian. It's 2 extra damage, but I think maybe opponent could overcommit into this attack. Yeah, I could blow them out and then follow it up with Sorin, and that should give me the game. Also worth noting, they only have 1 planes and they're on 5 mana, so like they could still have like a powerful 6-drop. Okay, so we induce them into this play, and hopefully we can, like, they don't actually have tenacity. We can wreck them here. Okay, yeah, that's kind of play that can frequently just get a concession, so cool. That's game 1, so they've got Silver Strike and a lot of Delirium. It'd be cute to put in that that Spirit that returns something from the graveyard. I don't know if that's actually good, though. If they have discard outlets, then it doesn't accomplish too much by like removing Delirium for a turn. I think maybe the Gossip Monger could go, and we just try to play a bit of a grindier game. I mean, that worked that game because I guess we had like Militia Captain and then eventually Sorin. Also, I kind of just want to get that extra land in, so let's put 1 more swamp in, and I think we'll just we'll go with this. On the other hand, we are going to be on the draw this game, so maybe this would be an okay time to just stay at 17 lands. If we go on the play, go back to 18. Yeah, we'll keep this. I mean, yeah, we put an extra land in, so maybe that's this card here over the Gossip Monger. That means that we're a little more likely to get flooded with a hand like this, but I think the 2 cards in our hand are really strong. Like, each of them could like lock down the board by themselves and just buy us a lot of time. So I think this is one of those 5-card hands that you can keep, or 5-land hands that you can keep. Opponent's stuck on just white mana, just paying in for 1 a turn. Probably gonna play Bound on whatever he plays. Ugh, Bishop. Can't kill that. That is going to be annoying. This is going to be tough to win this game, honestly, against this being out there. I don't think we have that many ways of actually killing that. So, I mean, I think we just throw the Moonsilver on it. Could also just put the deadweight on it, and then bound something else. Like the bound, we can move to something. So it's okay to just put in the bishop, and maybe there's a 2-toughness creature that we actually want to kill. So I think I'm just gonna bound the bishop. Like we saw multiple 2-toughness creatures that are actually important to get off the board. So Evangel, even the Toppelgeist eventually, um, the the Tooth Collector. So yeah, I'd rather just kill the Evangel. Well, we got the Sorin, and that can kill the Bishop, so we now have a chance. And difficult choice. If we want to deadweight right now, or if we go for the Hunter. And I think we deadweight. So the issue is if opponent is able to leave 2 mana up, they can, flip their Evangel, and so deadweight won't work. But I think given opponent's board, like they have a clue token in play, they're stuck on white mana, they've got the Bishop. I feel like they're going to be able to, I feel like they're going to tap out, and we're going to have a shot at the Evangel. And getting the Hunter out this turn gives us a lot of extra value, because it might just flip next turn if opponent, just sacks a clue token and passes if they don't have any mana. So not putting out that turn, I think, could be like a huge blow to our tempo. And I don't think opponent's just going to sack something to Evangel this turn. So I think we're going to have an opportunity to deadweight it. Okay, so the Perish Blade comes out. And very nice draw. Another Hunter is really good. So, I think we kill Evangel. I think it's still, opponent has 0 card types, so we're going to have 1 card type. So I think Evangel's the one we want to get rid of. We attack for 3. Go for Solitary Hunter. And then we go for Sorin. So we could go Sorin, move the Moonsilver over to something else, and then kill the Bishop, and that'll stop opponent's clue production. Or we could just plus the Sorin and just keep getting it up there. The opponent could have an Angelic Purge, but you'd think they would use it this turn. They're just going to sack a clue. We get another plane, so still don't have black mana. And they play a Drifter. So, definitely going for Sorin here. Question is, what do we do with it? Opponent has 2 clues right now. I mean, I think they're just going to keep getting clues off the Bishop. So there's definitely incentive to just remove that now. And then the question is, what do we attack with? And I think we move the Moonsilver over to the Perish Blade, and I think we... I don't want Sorin to die, for sure. Question is, do I leave both Hunters back to avoid removal spell and kill Sorin? I think that's probably the correct play. Though, I'm going to take another second here just to check that, what about just keep plussing Sorin? Just start at 7. Is that going to end up better? And I think it's better to just get rid of the Bishop. The opponent could be getting a clue token per turn. It's hard to, it's the complexity of the situation is that they are constricted on mana currently, which means that they're the speed that they can sack clue tokens and play creatures is reduced currently, such that if I keep pushing myself ahead with Sorin, that's going to advantage me. That said, if we drag this into a long game, I mean, eventually they're going to sack these clues, and then they're going to have some extra cards off the Bishop. And, if I'm going to kill it any turn, I think it should be this turn. And I think this is the only way I have in my deck to actually kill it. So either I just ignore it for the rest of the game, And then killing it also allows me to move my Bound by Moonsilver over to something else. And again, killing it this turn and then start plussing Sorin is just better than plussing Sorin and then killing it. So we're going to do this. So move this over to the Parishioner, second Forest, 3 damage. And make a very conservative pass. Also, if opponent has Angelic Purge, which they certainly could have. We want them to kill a Sorin at 3, not a Sorin at 7. So they sack both clues. They get their swamp. It doesn't look like they got a land at all. We could also -1 Sorin to kill Topplegeist. That seems pretty good. And attack for 10 is certainly nice. You could even just like sack Sorin, kill the Drifter, attack for 10. What is the opponent going to do? But yeah, I kind of like just killing the Topplegeist, and then the Sorin is just safe from then on. So I swear, this is our last turn of messing around. So yeah, I'm just going to pass. I mean, definitely a conservative line, like for sure a conservative line, because I could just be attacking for a lot of damage, and I mean that's a pretty unfortunate play that they play Tapper and some creatures, so it's possible my Sorin dies. Hopefully we draw something in the next 2 draw steps. That's good. Plus Sorin, just a swamp. I can play the 1 swamp. As long as we keep 2 other lands in hand, I think we're fine. So we'll play Militia Captain. And then can't attack block or transform, but it can use abilities, so we just have to pass here. So this is pretty unfortunate. I mean, my plan is not working out too well, considering what just happened. Like, had we just sat there and kept plussing Sorin, we'd be in a little better shape. Oof, Inspiring Captain. I mean, doesn't kill Sorin. We can probably just, chump, and it's probably worth it to keep the Sorin alive. And, kill a 3/3. We could keep the Militia Captain alive, and then if we draw a creature, flip it, and that could be our route to victory. But I think we just want to get, 1 more turn of plussing Sorin and go from there. Could also minus Sorin, kill the Constable. We have a Quilled Wolf. Put on his 1 card type in the graveyard. Yeah, I like just killing the Constable, I think. Or maybe not. Maybe I like just plussing Sorin for 1 turn, playing the Wolf, and passing. And then on the next turn, maybe we can kill a Constable. Because just getting to that 1 card more quickly, we could maybe cast something else in addition. I guess the issue is if opponent has Removal Spell, then we might lose Sorin if we don't draw something else. Yeah, I'm just gonna kill the Constable. 2, so we'll play Wolf, play a land, and pass. So just gonna keep playing it safe, keep the Sorin alive. I mean, obviously having the Sorin in play, we had some opportunities to just trade Sorin off for like a little bit of advantage, which would put us further ahead at this point. But we have a Sorin in play right now, so we still have that chance of just, completely locking down the game and getting a ton of advantage off Sorin on multiple turns, and that's what we're hoping for. So plus Sorin. Hope we can get like one spell a turn, and we don't get it here. So we're close to being in trouble with our Sorin. Luckily we're about to get it up to 3. An opponent shouldn't be able to... Okay, they have Sanitarium Skeleton. They shouldn't be able to get Delirium too quickly. They have 3 cards in hand, just 1 card type. And, they might just not have another card type available. They can draw a land pretty easily, get to 2. I suppose the cards they discarded so far, the Accomplice and the Skeleton, they both have value in the graveyard, so it's also possible that they just wanted those ones in the graveyard first. And they're thinking about Delirium later. We might have to move the Bound by Moonsilver over to the Drifter at some point to be safe from an unexpected Delirium. So let's plus it again. And another Bound. And could try to start attacking. And maybe we're just going to eat a call token every turn, but that's going to add up over time. So I guess we start with Captain, with the Bound. And how big of an attack do we want to make? Opponent can make 3 attackers for next turn, but Sorin's at 3, so even if opponent ends up with an extra attacker, that's not necessarily going to kill Sorin. I can definitely attack with at least 1, so let's just send 1 in. Hopefully opponent just kind of sits back, chumps every turn, because that is good for our Sorin. What we don't want them to do is to use their life total as a resource, get really low, and then just end up with enough tokens in play that they can take out Sorin and protect their and have enough chumps left over, which they will get eventually, from the Skeleton Call combo. So we're hoping that our Sorin can actually find stuff. We've already drawn that extra swamp. Would have been a Gossip Monger, which would have been okay. Yeah. Forgot about considering the Silver Strike. That's really bad for us. So it gives an extra creature in the graveyard, and then importantly kills one of our vital blockers. Opponent didn't discard to call it in a turn though, and that's good for us. I think it's good for us. They could just have really strong cards in hand, so that might be bad. I kind of feel like they just skipped through it. So I've got 3 card types now. Draw another land. We only put 1 extra land in the deck, so it's pretty unfortunate that we're getting this flooded. Let's move the Moonsilver. Well, we did draw a Shepherd, so I think we still just move it over to the Drifter. Let's see, can we attack here? So opponent makes another one. They got 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 2 creatures. That's sort of safe. I do think it's important to get in every possible attack that we can. Let's go in with the Wolf. And we'll pump it. It does show that we don't have a trick, which is a little unfortunate, but I think that's okay. And we'll play 1 land. Oh, twins. That's not good. So if opponent has like something to do on their turn, then we're probably screwed. And that that attack, really hurt us if that's the case. If they just have what they have out right now, I don't think it's too bad. Like it's bad. I definitely wanted the wolf back. That wasn't worth that damage, but we can still keep Soren alive. We can kill the twins, and we'll chump here. So get to kill a 3/5. Soren's still alive, but Soren's probably going to die next turn. So that is unfortunate. Maybe I should be playing around the possibility of twins a little bit more. I suppose another Silver Strike too. I mean, I do think that getting in these attacks is very important. Like if that attack worked, that means that the attack's going to work on every turn. Not just this turn, but next turn, the turn after, and that can really add up over time. And that's why I'm going for that attack. Not because I just think 6 damage is worth it. It's because I think 6 damage over a long period of time ends up with a lot of tokens dying, ends up with me maybe being able to pull out the game. Another land. Watcher, yes! So, we can move the Moonsilver over. Oh, actually, I mean, if we do... oh, our opponent took 5 from the Watcher. That's fantastic. So, if we attack with both, the opponent actually has to chump with a creature. But not really seeing it. I mean, maybe I could attack with 1. I mean, I get to go for Watcher. I get to put the Bound by Moonsilver over on the Kindly Stranger, and that stops it from flipping, which is really good for us. So 1 through 5, 6. The question is, do I attack with both? I get a zombie token, and opponent goes really low. And I mean, the Watcher can just block everything. Now, I suppose opponent could make... and then I could also move Moonsilver over to the zombie and force opponent to chump with one of their more important creatures. That's also pretty reasonable. 6 minutes on clock left, so I kind of have to move here. 5, 6... So let's play the Watcher. I mean, maybe I'm getting a little too cute here. Okay, so I think I'm going to go bound over from the Drifter to the Stranger, and then I'm going to attack with 1, 5, 6. Maybe not. Maybe I wait 1 turn. I'm gonna wait. That was pretty close. I mean, opponent chumping with a zombie is good for me. Opponent going to 3 is also good for me, because Soren might be able to just kill them. So they'd probably just chump with the zombie, and that's good. The one thing I'm considering is that opponent can make a big attack next turn, and while Watcher can block everything, I don't think I can... I don't know. I guess maybe I should have spent like a few more seconds just like figuring out the last attack, like what they would do, but I kind of have to get moving. But basically, like they might be able to make an attack where, like, either lose Soren or Watcher doesn't get a very good block. But moving on. So they have a Ghoulsteed. Let's reveal the top card. Strength of Arms. We'll play Courier. Well, let's go for an attack. Actually, let's go for Wolf, I think. Courier. And pass. We have 13 cards left in the deck, so opponent knows we have Strength of Arms. Oh no, Expose Evil. That's bad. So, I mean, our Sorin looks like it's going to die here. So just block one token. That's bad news. We got Pack Guardian, so we could go for like an aggressive attack here, and then hope that Pack Guardian is going to do something nice on the swing back. So let's send everything. Well, let's keep the Watcher back. I think could send it. We'd have to spend a Strength of Arms, but let's just send everything else. I mean, the situation isn't dire. It's not looking great, but like his opponent can make the 2/1/1s every turn. But Pack Guardian's pretty good. We might be able to blow opponent out with it. It's possible. I guess leaving the Watcher back, it's a little less likely we get a great trade there. So we get to draw a card off the Courier. Get to pump the Wolf for extra damage. Oh, I should be tapping Swamps here. Guess keeping the Watcher back's fine. Like, trading Strength for the Captain's okay, but I'd rather trade Strength for the Ghoul Seed at some point. So opponent's on 3 card types, and we've got Bound on their important Delirium creatures, so Delirium's pretty much turned off for them. So they're just going to pass back to us, I think. Do we go for the Pack Guardian? Yes, we do. Discard the land, so we go to our turn. Strength, that's good. So let's not sack the Clue yet. Let's go for a large attack here. Let's get frisky. Oh, pitting. Okay. It's not the turn I wanted them to draw that, so it gives them Delirium, which doesn't necessarily matter, but that just makes their blocks a lot better than they would have been. But I still have 2 combat tricks. So, I mean, this combat will turn out well for me, and that's certainly nice. If they're going to try to take out my 5/6, that's really going to be good for me. So 6, 7, 8. I mean, I think it's probably worth it to save this. So another Clue, and then pump it again. Sack a Clue, and alright. Too many lands. So this flips back, so we're at 330. Gotta go fast. I mean, if they don't draw something big here, we're looking really good. So just getting Skeleton back and making a 1/1 is not good enough for them here. We've got some large creatures. Just making the 1/1 means our Hunter is flipping again. And they just play land, so they're going to get 2 creatures, but we can attack with 3 creatures. So we're slowly grinding them out here. Okay, they're just going to play the Skeleton? I don't think that's correct. I should probably keep discarding. So let's send everything in. Now, why are we drawing so many lands? 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We've already drawn all of our lands, so we have 8 spells left in the deck. That's absurd. literally every card left in our deck is a spell. So, I mean, yeah, we put one extra land in, but that, we kept a 5-land hand, but, I mean, that was very unfortunate how things turned out. So, Dauntless Cathar, that's pretty annoying. And here's a spot where opponents should actually cast a skeleton because they get to flip our 3/4. But this time they don't go for it. That's good for us. Let's smash with everything. So I think opponent can, if they want to take out the Watcher, they can do that, which they might want to do. But otherwise, well, that's not going to work. They'd have to put everything on. I mean, if they wanted to do something like that, they should have just cast the skeleton, and I think they didn't realize they could flip it. It would be a 3/4. Yeah, I mean, a block like that's reasonable if they just take the 2, gain 2. Just kind of sustain where they're at. Okay, if they block the wolf, then this puts them to 1. And I'll leave them with the Cathar, so I'll just kill the 2 knights. The Cathar in play doesn't really concern me. And then I'll play the Courier, and this should give me the win. This should put me, just ahead enough. So they only get to make 1 creature this turn. Or they get to, let's see, they get to make 2 creatures this turn, I guess. They get to discard and then play it. So they get some, okay, Tooth Collector. I mean, we're safe, so I'll just F6. And flips it the 3/4 back. So he gets some -1 of my guys. Truth Faith Sensor, okay. And do I want to move like the Perish over? I don't think so. So this is going to trade, that's fine. Hunter, I don't want to trade, so I'll pump that up. Let's attack with all. Wow, that's fine. Okay. This is cool. We get a clue. Sack it. Oh, nice. Glad I sacked that. Getting an extra 1/1 is pretty good. So again, opponent can make 2 creatures. They can gain a little bit of life. Whoa, Aristocrat. That's a scary card. I think it's a little too late. They make a flyer. It's close, so we'll go to our turn. We've got 5 cards left in our deck. I mean, I'm definitely going to sack the clue. Because, I mean, we need to get a little more, like, tempo going. Rather than, like, we're not necessarily winning from just grinding them out every turn, so, like, we need to get one more thing in play to put just that last bit of pressure on them. Pack Guardian, nice. Oh, Provisioner. Does this give trample? No, another creature gets used on turn. 4. Well, it's looking good. So we'll use this on the Inspector and attack with everything. So this should do it. If they don't have like a Wrath effect, this attack, they're required to chump with all of their creatures, and then I have Pack Guardian in a turn. So this should finally do it. It was a pretty epic game with, I mean, a lot of decisions early on, and definitely some that could have been mistakes. I mean, there were 2 times I went for attacks that got punished, where if I had just sat back, I would be in much better position. And like I think I maybe made mistakes on like both sides of the spectrum of being like a little too conservative and then a little too aggressive at times. But Sorin is just such a powerful card that it does incentivize you to just be more conservative, keep it on the board. We were able to get through, a really unfortunate slew of lands. Oh, Macabre Waltz. Uh-oh. Is the game not over yet? What opponent get? Wow, getting Topplegeist Twins. Jeez. Those are pretty good cards to get off Macabre Waltz. Do I still have the win? Was I counting my chickens? I feel like I probably still have the win. Because this Pack Guardian is obviously a lot of damage. They do get to tap something down, and then they just have 2 creatures back, so that's going to be lethal. Move this here, and everything in. How can someone be this retarded? Opponent's having some fun. Pathetic. Literally pathetic. I thought the game wasn't pathetic at all, so that was pretty cool. So, wow, what a game. On to round 2. Okay, so haven't even had time to recover from that last epic match. It's time to play first, and this is a pretty nice hand. We don't have a quick creature to flip the Gossipmonger with, but we have a pretty nice curve out where we go with turn 1, we're going to go with the Gossipmonger. Turn 2, we're going to play Plains and True Faith Sensor. And then turn 3, we can equip the Gossipmonger and play the Orchard. And then hopefully, by turn 4, we get to draw another land, and we can go with the Provisioner, pumping the Gossipmonger. And then eventually we'll flip the Gossipmonger, but I don't really see us doing that anytime soon. It should be better to attack with it the turn we Provisioner, rather than just flip it that turn. Nagging Thoughts. So this is the blue-white deck. I mean, maybe they picked up that invocation, whether they would play it or not. And let's censor that up. And attack for 3. Oh wait, but there's more. It gets Vigilance, so we can actually pump it, attack with it, then flip it, all in the same turn. That's amazing. And we're really close to Sorin, so this is a sick play. Look at that damage. Six damage. Opponent's at 10 on turn 4, and we've got 2 large creatures in play. They have a Nearheath Chaplain. We just bound that. This game is just about over. We even have Strength of Arms that can make a 1/1, but probably best to just pump this and hold that for a combat trick, and it's over. So, compared to that first match, this one went more quickly. So, I was so close on whether to cut the Gossipmonger for that 18th land, but I mean, just imagine this hand. I mean, it's so results oriented. Like that last game where lands were in the bottom 8, or spells were the bottom 8 cards in my deck. Very results oriented on that 18th land, not on being too many lands. But this game, Town Gossipmonger, if this was a land, I might just lose this game. Like, this might not even be a game. I would just be really far behind on board. But Gossipmonger got so much damage in so quickly, and that's why it's here. We'll be on the draw. I suppose Gossipmonger gets a little bit worse on the draw, but also the 18th land is less important on the draw as well, since we're more likely to be able to draw our mana with that extra card and get to mulligan more effectively. So they're blue. I imagine we'll leave out Hope against Hope for now. but it might come in if we don't see any bounce spells from them. Watcher is going to be great here, and everything else looks good. So we'll submit. Okay, we'll mulligan this. Definitely should have run 18 lands. It's a big mistake not to switch. And this hand is fine. It's definitely awkward. Like, half super aggressive, half super controlling, and needs lands. But I think I have to keep it. The Hunter, it fits really well into our plan of like Gossipmonger into Wolf, but like we're just not guaranteed to have the 4th mana in time, so we have to put it on the bottom, unfortunately. So, like, this hand, it kind of looks really good in a way, but it's also very awkward. So, like, our early drops are nice, but they're not going to get there by themselves. And that means that we're going to have to rely on Tamiyo's Journal and Watcher in the Web to actually finish the game, which means that these early drops were sort of irrelevant in the long scheme of things. So that's kind of the issue, even though like Gossipmonger into Quilled Wolf is a great start. Yeah, Illuminator's very good. So we're going to go with Wolf, and can flip the Gossipmonger, threaten 3/3 attacker, so it can get past the Illuminator next turn. Wicker Witch, that's annoying. So we can just trade Gossipmonger for the Witch. It does make room for our Pack Guardian, and I don't really see anything better that we can be doing, so I think I'll do that. Like, just sitting back I don't think accomplishes too much. The Wicker Witch could eventually trade with our Pack Guardian, so I think I'd rather force the trade with the Gossipmonger here. And then the Pack Guardian is also awkward because we've got these 5-drops and we're probably not going to have the lands to actually discard to it. So I'm just going to attack with the Rabble. Attacking with the Wolf, opponent might just block with Wicker Witch if they have a really good answer to Rabble, and then they might just block with the Illuminator. And so, yeah, maybe they don't. They're afraid of a pump spell, but I think I'm going to take one turn here of not doing that. I think they get a few too many options by sending the Wolf in. I mean, they can even start swinging back, just depending on what their next play is. Where this attack basically forces this block. Now, if I draw like a Plains next turn, it's interesting if I discard it to Pack Guardian, because then it's like any land I draw is good and any spell I draw is good for the rest of the game. But it does slow me down getting the Journal out, and considering like what the opponent's doing right now, they're kind of slow here. I think getting Journal out could be really powerful. So, I mean, we attack now. I don't think we go for Strength of Arms, though. I think we just... Okay, an opponent takes it now. That's good. That's something that, going for, like, not going for bluffs, and then one turn you actually go for the bluff, it could actually help you out. Now, it looks like they just, they had the Inspector, and so they knew they were going to get an extra clue, so they decided to wait on it. Let's definitely go for press for answers, so they get... I don't know if they should have done that, because they don't get a second clue from that. It's only the first time in a turn. I think they should have waited on that. I mean, that doesn't even prevent much damage. That just seemed like a waste. So we'll go for Pack Guardian here. So start getting in some damage, and hopefully draw a land, can drop the Journal, and then we can keep up pace with the opponent's Illuminator. So... yeah, I really think opponent... maybe they thought that they were just going to double. Maybe they forgot that Illuminator is only the first in a turn. They should have just sacked a clue there and then press the next turn. And let's drop the Journal. So, I mean, opponent could have Angelic Purge for the Journal. Otherwise, not many ways to deal with it. in blue-white. Okay, Stitchwing Scab. So we're just going to drop the Watcher. We could trade Pack Guardian for that. There's a dead weight. I mean, with all these tokens they have, you know, they can get back Scab relatively easily. So let's just drop the Watcher. The one thing is that maybe this one turn we could just get in 4 damage, but I think they're blocking. They've got 3 clues in play. They should be able to get the Scab back pretty easily. So I'm just not going to make the attack. Maybe we can get Strength of Arms later on to push through the Guardian. I mean, I suppose we already represented a trick, but I think they're okay trading a trick for the Scab as well. Like just 2 random cards seems okay for them. I'd love to get rid of this Illuminator. I mean, that's one of the flaws with my deck, is just being able to deal with like 3 toughness utility creatures. Like that Bygone Bishop from that other game. Well, we got the Sorin. That's one of the ways we can deal with the Illuminator. So, I mean, with Sorin out, I think just drawing random cards is probably better than getting one specific card. So let's just sack some clues. Let's get to our 3 sources of black. And we'll sack on our turn. If we get the tap land, the Forbidden Orchard, we definitely would want to play it on our turn. Compelling Deterrence, okay. Discard Force. And we draw Force, so we'll play it. And, I mean... yeah, let's attack here. Just with the Guardian. Because I don't want to take the 3 damage back. We'll play the Pump Spell. So, just a pretty easy turn just to trade a Pump Spell for his Flyer. The mob gets a little bigger, but I'm not too worried about the mob at the moment. Maybe a mob will trade with Pack Guardian at some point. So, Manic Scribe. An opponent has Delirium. Oof. Might have to... Whoa, Vessel. So it looks like they're like definitely melee. Okay, so we're gonna mill for 3. Bound by Moonsilver. Doesn't do too much on this board. So, and can definitely attack with the Pack Guardian and the Quillwolf. And then maybe just play Watcher. And we're gonna get milled out pretty quickly. Oh, we lost a Swamp, so we only have 2 sources left, and both of them are tap sources, so that's a problem. We just don't have many ways of dealing with the Scribe. I mean, let's get aggressive for sure. I could use Bound, but let's just attack with both. Opponent doesn't have a great block here. I think they might just go Inspector and Unruly Mob on the Pack Guardian. Didn't expect that. I mean, I'll get rid of the Illuminator. Well, I suppose I draw a card. I mean, if it's a land, I can still play Watcher. If it's a spell, like another... well, I already lost my other Bound. Like, I think I should Clue Sack here. Like, I might drop Pump Spell too. Okay, Inspector. That's not very good. So we'll go for Inspector, and we'll bound the Unruly Mob. I suppose I could have just, like, bound pre-combat, but... let's get the clue. Let's bound the mob. And yeah, we're definitely in trouble. And Loam Dryads, so we only have one more black source. This is going to be really tough. There's a Vessel. I mean, hopefully we could get them to like block with their Manic Scribe on the Inspector. And I mean, I still have to kind of sack clues to give myself a chance. There's the Orchard, so I'm going to stop sacking clues like for the rest of the game. And a Cathar in the graveyard is nice. So let's send the Wolf. I mean, we can still win this. This opponent might just double block on the Wolf. Just put one on, okay. So we go with Watcher, and we go with Foul Orchard. And then we go with Sorin to kill the Scribe. That puts us at 6 cards in our deck. Oh no. Oh, that's game. Fleeting Clues. Well, alright, let's... So, I mean, we're not dead yet. I guess we're going to make a big attack. I'm not seeing how we get out of this, though. Like, if we could flip like a 4-drop off Sorin, they can go to 9. But Memories is definitely going to get us. So, let's concede, I think. Sorin is 6 to face. No, it's just a creature. Yeah, can't do this. Dang. That's a tough loss. Not forgotten. Well, can be okay. Root out. Let's get that in. I think. I mean, it can kill that enchantment. Was that the one enchantment we saw? We saw a Vessel. We saw a couple Vessels. I mean, that's probably okay. I mean, cards that like mill us, we'd want to remove. I guess we want to go like more aggressive. Hope Against Hope. We saw a bounce spell that made us discard, so I'm a little sketched about that. There's also the card that like taps it down for a turn. They have some chump blockers, so I could finish the game quickly. But I mean, the Builder, that seems like that should be in, because it could get our lone swamp that ends up in the graveyard. Compulsion doesn't seem good. Pick the Brain is interesting. So what stuff, like Combat Tricks are okay, but not as good. Random card draw not as good. I mean, I think the Journal can probably go, just like if our opponent's just trying to mill us out. Like a card that simply draws extra cards probably isn't what we want. So Shepherd, Confront, Deadweight. Is Deadweight worth cutting? Didn't actually kill anything that we wanted to kill. Like, it's still okay. But, I mean, it doesn't kill the Illuminator, it doesn't kill the Manic Scribe. It, like, kills a Scab, like, it's okay. Maybe just Strength of Arms. Combat Tricks just aren't as important against someone who's chumping or tapping our guys down. Alright. Let's play first. Okay, decent hand. That was perfect mana. Good 3-drop, and then maybe we could deadweight something important. I haven't drafted that mill deck. I would love to draft that. It's hard to get into. Like, things have to just kind of not be going well, and you just randomly end up in it, I feel. Okay, Unruly Mob, that's perfectly fine. Militia Captain, that could be cool. Let's go with Cathar here. Just should get the most damage in next turn. It's going to be hard for opponent to make like a really good block on it. So it probably just gets more than the shepherd does. So I mean, we'll see like what combo pieces opponent has early. So they have a vessel, not really scary card. Could use the deadweight here to stay on curve, but I think I'm just going to wait. The Unruly Mob just isn't doing anything yet. So we'll go with the Spectral Shepherd, and then we'll go with Watcher, and then Militia Captain plus something else, and then hopefully... So we lost a Pack Guardian. It's a pretty important card for giving us good tempo. So Near Heath Chaplain, that's what we'll use our deadweight on. Could attack with both. I think Cathar for Unruly Mob is an okay trade. So we can go deadweight and then Militia Captain. The 1/1 flyer is going to be pretty annoying. We could also just attack with both, let this trade. I wish we had another planes, but so that slows us down a little bit. But then we can just deadweight the Unruly Mob and play Captain. I mean, one way we get to remove the lifelink, which I think is important. Opponent could get a big Unruly Mob eventually, but we've got the Bound in Moonsilvers, and that didn't have too many targets, so that's maybe not that bad. So attack with both. It doesn't slow down our Captain too much if the opponent trades here, so we can get the 1/1 flyer on a future turn. It might slow us down by a full turn though, which would suck, because we don't have the second white this turn. That's a really big deal, because otherwise we could go Watcher next turn and then flip the Captain, and instead it might take a full extra turn for that. But I think we have to be aggressive there. Like, this isn't a matchup where we can just sit back. So opponent looks like they have the board here. That's good. So we can go Courier, and we can remove the Cathar. We'll hold the land in hand. Opponent does have that bounce spell that makes us discard. They don't have a zombie yet, so it's not vital that we do that, but I don't think there's a benefit to playing it. And we could also drop Pack Guardian. We'd want to discard it too. So opponent has a clue. They got 4 cards in hand and 6 lands out, so they could have something big here. And hopefully they don't have an actual answer to the Militia Captain, and it can start just getting in for damage. So they have a Vessel, so they can draw an extra 2 cards on their turn. So Captain flips, and Loam Dryad. So I kind of like just getting really aggressive this turn. And let's just dump our hand, make the Cult Leader as big as possible, and then I think just attack with all of our creatures. I mean, I don't think opponent's playing anything like Tenacity, so this should work out pretty well. Yeah, I mean, trading the flyers for our Shepherd or for a flyer is not the greatest thing, but compelling deterrence. Okay. It's okay. Like, it slows us down a decent amount. I think that's correct to do, to play the creatures pre-combat. I mean, maybe, yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think the bounce ball hurt us that badly. So we get a clue token, so should have a decent next turn. We can draw a card, play Captain, and we'll have 4 creatures in play for Captain to flip the turn after. And we'll be careful on defense or on our attacks next turn, make sure we don't lose a creature, because flipping Captain's pretty important at this point. And we lost both Bound by Moonsilvers, and opponent has a Vessel. So, I mean, they haven't really got their engine going yet, but it could come down any moment if they have that enchantment. And so we still definitely need to be putting pressure on. I mean, if we don't have another creature, though, like flipping Captain's pretty important to actually winning. So just trading the Shepherd off. They have another Vessel, so Well, we got the Quilled Wolf, actually. So we can go Clue Sack. Oh, and they don't even have enough mana to use the Vessel here. So this is a very nice turn. We could lose 1 damage here. We could get the Byway Courier out instead of the Quilled Wolf. But the Wolf does threaten a ton of damage, so I think the Wolf is actually fine. So let's attack with everything. I like our chances now. Opponent's going to be able to draw some cards, but we're going to have this really large creature in play, the Militia Captain. So that's going to require chumps. The Quilled Wolf requires chumps, and opponent doesn't have any clues in play, so even if they draw the fleeting enchantment that mills for clues, that's not good enough, and they probably have Delirium. No, they don't have Delirium yet. They have 3 towards Delirium. So they just won't be able to mill us out that quickly. Like if they have that Mythic that mills for 13, then they could do it, but otherwise I think we're just too far ahead on the board. Like they need something, you know, like a Wrath or that mill 13 card, something pretty crazy. Let's come back here. So Captain flips. We draw Solitary Hunter. So the play is probably just attack with everything. So opponent blocks Cult Leader and Wolf, and then they take 5. They might have like that tap 2 creatures card, but we'll wait to cast stuff till, excuse me, after combat, I think. The other thing we could do is use Loam Dryad to play Courier and the Solitary Hunter, and that's a reasonable choice. I don't feel like they're letting the Cult Leader through this turn. I mean, they might let the Wolf through, then we'd have to make a decision whether to pump or not. But like they just have so much mana up, it's hard to really plan for what's going to happen. Because like I might want to draw both my creatures, but I also might want to just pump my Wolf. So, and I might miss out on damage if I don't attack with everything. On one hand, I might just say, okay, I'm not going to pump my Wolf, because if I do that, like the situation where I have to pump my Wolf means that they have some kind of trick. So I'm just going to leave the Loam Dryad back. We'll send everything else. So they sack the Vessel. I feel like they're probably going to... well, okay, they have something else here. Humble the Brute. So they kill that, and they get a clue. Alright. So, how are they going to block, though? They're going to put 2 on the Quilled? Probably, right? I mean, I left the Loam Dryad up. They should probably just put 2 on the Quilled Wolf and force me to pump. They don't. Okay. Alright, let's dump our hand and hope there's no Wrath. So otherwise we should have this. Even like a tap 2 creatures thing isn't good enough. Whoa. Uh-oh. What is this? Angel of Deliverance. When it deals damage if their former creatures exile target creature opponent's controls. I think I still have it. Because it's when it deals damage, so 1, 2, yeah, I still have it. Good try. So when it deals damage, yep. On to game 3. Opponent's deck is crazy. That Humble the Brute is kind of scary, because one of the best ways for us to win is to just make like one big creature and get it through. Like, it looks like they don't have that many removal spells. They have the Deterrence, they have Humble the Brute, and they have like the thing that taps something down for a turn. I don't think I want to put the Hope Against Hope in, though. Wait, what happened? Oh, I won? Oh, I won that first game. Wow. That first game, that one that was so fast, where I played the Gossip Monger. Oh, because, yeah, that second game just, yeah, took me by surprise. I just thought we had another game. Well, alright, on to the finals. This has been a crazy and crazy long, too. I'm glad that first game didn't take that long, because that could have been a really long match. But, I don't know, I feel like I got it out of there easy, considering what my opponent's capable of doing. So I will definitely take that win. And on to the finals. Okay, finals time. So let's play first. And mull this. And mull that. And keep. Yeah. It's a little awkward, but I don't know. Maybe I should have just put the Gossamonger on the bottom. I guess I forgot I was on the play. So that slows down this progression. So, thinking we start with Militia Captain. We might be able to get an attack in next turn, and then we go for Gossamonger after that. I suppose this probably isn't going to survive against red-black. Oh, that's good. Well, we're drawn pretty well. Again, being on the play, yeah, I do think I should have just bottomed the Gossamonger and tried to get us closer to our double green for Pack Guardian. You know, knowing we're not going to play it on turn 1, knowing that we're not going to play it on turn 2, you know, it's a turn 3 play, and I think a random card's probably a little better. That said, I mean, we're almost at 4 creatures. I mean, playing against red-black, I don't expect us to be able to flip the captain, but I mean, we mulled to 5 on the play. We're trying to get lucky here. So, opponent puts out a crow, tosses some lands in the graveyard. Wow, there's 4 creatures. I mean, let's just play both and see if we flip the captain. Maybe we win. I mean, you could make an attack or something. I'm just going to see if we can flip the captain. You know, maybe opponent doesn't have the double red for Fiery Temper yet. We have to flip it here. And, well, they have a double red. But, you know, early captain flip could win a game. And, I mean, some of the removal, like Throttle and Reduce to Flames, you know, we could get the captain big enough that it can survive those. So it's not worth, like, you know, potentially trading or something. Man, if we, like, kept 7 and, like, had the Gossamonger and like, this hand looks really good. Just the 5 kind of hurts it. So Kindly Stranger, that's not really bad. We get to flip the captain, and we get our forest. So let's start by sacking the clue. Strength of Arms, very nice. Now, could just send everybody and go for strength. I mean, it does telegraph the combat trick, but we could also just flip the Gossamonger. So I think we just... The Gossamonger seems pretty strong at this point, 4 mana up with the Pack of Arms, or the Strength of Arms, so let's just send these 2. I don't think opponent's trading with the 3-2, but if they do, we could make a 1-1 flyer and then flip Gossamonger as well. So they just take it, and we get a 1-1 and pass. Yeah, I guess we could have sent the Inspector. I forgot we were getting the 1-1 in a turn, and then we can use that to flip the Gossamonger. So, I mean, the issue with that is that we would be revealing that we do have a trick, and at the moment, opponent doesn't know if we have a trick or not. So Pale Rider of Trostad, they could be discarding Murderous Compulsion and killing our cult leader here. I think there's a good chance of that, unfortunately. Dang it, they had it. Well, I mean, we're not out of it yet, but they got 2 creature types in the graveyard. They don't even have a creature in yet, so they're getting close to their Kindly Stranger. And our board just doesn't look as exciting now. I got the forest. So Opponent probably puts Pale Rider on the Rabble, and then they could put Stranger on something else, and then Crow on the Cathar. But either way, let's just send everything in. Like, the Stranger's close enough that we want to kill it with Strength of Arms if we can. Just needs an instant to flip. So opponent might even be able to play Removal Spell plus flip next turn. That's a little unlikely, but having this flip wouldn't be good for us. I mean, hopefully, like, I feel like it's hard for them not to make this block here. And that's unfortunate, because, well, like, if they just make that block, I guess we just go Strength of Arms, and then end a turn Pack Guardian, and then just keep attacking, I guess. I mean, one benefit to waiting is that we could draw land, we could get the extra 2/2 at Pack Guardian. But, I mean, I think we just have to go really fast here, because we're kind of out of gas, and, like, slowing the game down I don't think is going to help us out too much. Opponent, well, they're blocking with Kindly Stranger. So, we'll do this, and we'll pump here. So opponent goes to 7. And hopefully we draw a land next turn, and we can Pack Guardian make the 2/2. That might give us enough pressure to win this game. I got a 5-drop, maybe an Arsonist. Okay, Gus is bidding. It's good, and the Pack Guardian could play pretty well against it. Solitary Hunter plays well. So I think we're cool with trading the Cathar off here. And we'll just go for Hunter. So trading Cathar off makes the Hunter a better attacker for next turn. So still in this, I mean, the opponent hasn't done anything really powerful yet. They got 3 cards in hand, they're on 6 mana now. They could play something really powerful here. Like, until they play something big, they haven't really taken advantage of us being on a multi-5. Okay. Well, that's what I'm talking about, pretty much. Yeah. That's pretty good. So, I mean, we're sort of at parity here. Could make a 1/1 flyer. Probably just pass, flip the Hunter, and go for Pack Guardian. And just, I don't know, hopefully opponent has nothing else and we can do something. I mean, the 5/6 is actually very good here against those 1/1s. Like, it makes it hard for opponent to, you know, block it well. Well, another Guess is bidding. That's not very good for us. So hopefully we can draw something here, because I don't think we have enough to really push through yet. There's a Swamp, and Sorin would be a great draw. So, question is, what can we do with these attacks? If we attack with a 5/6, opponent can block with 3 zombies, and we're just trading it for 2 zombies. That's not very good. The Wolf going in is pretty safe. I mean, I think I'm okay just trading that off for something, even just 1 Devil. I guess I'm not happy to trade it for 1 Devil. So I'd want to get like a little extra advantage out of that trade. Pack Guardian going in, it's just zombie plus devil, and then kills a cleric, so that's not very good. Sending everything in might be reasonable. So opponent puts like Devil on Pack Guardian. They probably just chump the Pack Guardian if I send everything and try to make good blocks elsewhere. They could put Devil on Inspector, Devil on Wolf, Devil on Pack Guardian, Devil on Cleric. Well, then they would take 5. So I have to put one Devil on... Well, okay, they would put Zombie on Inspector. So I don't think I can really send the Inspector in that case. So like if I send everything other than... If I just send the Wolf, Pack Guardian, and one of the Pack, they'd put Devil on Pack, Zombie on Pack, and Devil on Wolf. And then that takes out my Pack Guardian, the Cleric, and the Wolf. So they basically trade 2 Devils and a Zombie for everything other than my one of the Pack and the Throbbing Inspector, and that's not very good. So I just don't really have a good attack here. I could throw the Wolf in, just get rid of one Devil, but I don't think that helps too much. The one thing it does is that the Devils are kind of making my Cathar a little bit worse, so I'm actually just going to send the Wolf. So having one Devil less means that it's a little bit harder for opponents. Like next turn they can just send Devils in to threaten my 1/1 flying token. So making this attack and trading for a Devil means that they can basically send one less creature on offense. They block with the Zombie, and I'm good with that too, because then the one of the Pack is looking better. So we'll use Cathar. And I think I just play the Swamp. I'm trying to remember like how much discard there is in the format, but I mean I have so few black sources that I think I just want to put into play. That's our 6th land for Sorin. I mean, being able to bluff something is also kind of nice, but I was trying to think like what things I could have that make me discard. There's not much. There's that enchantment that discards for 2. So it might be safe just to hold it. Okay, I'll get to trade here. I'm very happy just to trade that off. Oh, rush of adrenaline, okay. So we go to 11. Their deck looks really good. Pale Rider, 2 Giss's Biddings, Playground, Kindly Stranger, Murderous Compulsion. Yeah, they made so many token creatures. For the mold of 5, like we performed pretty well, but just didn't quite get there. They had I guess their one removal spell in addition to the Stranger was that Compulsion. So me attacking with the Militia, open it up to removal. Deadweight. Deadweight, huh? I mean, deadweight on a zombie is not bad. I kind of like that. I mean, you could obviously kill the flyer and then just sit back for a while, but I think killing a zombie, I'm kind of worried opponent has stuff in their hand here, but this question is, how can we make an attack here with one of the Pack? If opponent, they basically want to put like all their creatures on one of the Pack. If they put any less, I can just choose not to kill a Devil. Let me just let's see. I'm trying to see if there's something bad with attacking with like 2 creatures here. It's 2 creatures attack. Maybe they just go Zombie on Pack, Devil on Pack. Because there's interesting things that happen when they block one of the Pack, like of how I can spread the damage around. I guess if they put everything on it, I kill the Zombie and 3 Devils, and then my Pack Guardian dies. So I'm left with Inspector and the Cleric, which is fine. Assuming they have nothing, and they might have something. If I attack with both, I mean, they could make that same play and they take extra damage. They could also put the Devil on the Pack, and then 5 things on the one of the Pack. and that would also kind of get me. What about attacking with everything? Attacking with everything's actually kind of nice. I mean, they could put the zombie on the inspector, but like everything else is pretty reasonable, so I think I'll attack with everything. Like they can put a devil on each one of my creatures, yeah, I guess each one of my creatures, and then zombie on the 1/2, and then throw the devil damage. Or actually, it'd be better. They just put 2 devils, one in the Pack Guardian, one in the one of the pack, and then the 1/2, the 2/2 zombie would block the 1/2. So let's see how they do this. So going for double block there. This is kind of interesting. I hadn't considered this block. Okay, so I don't want to do this. So, I mean, the Pack Guardian, can die no matter what. Because like you can leave your opponent with extra devils in play by assigning extra damage to the creatures. So first of all, it's totally okay for me to stack them this way. So I'll just hit OK. Hit OK. Okay. And then we'll go to damage. And now we have to figure this out. It's just a puzzle. So if we kill everything, then opponent gets to deal 4 damage split. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're just left with the inspector if we kill everything. So that's not very good, but it's an option. If we just put damage on the zombie, and we just put damage on 1 devil, then we lose the Pack Guardian to the devil hit, and opponent has 3 devils, so it's 3 devils versus the 5/6, the 1/2, and the 1/1. So that's better than that last decision, than the last option. So if we kill these 2 devils, then all in the zombie, that's not as good. Opponent kills their 5/6. So I think we want to kill just the zombie and just 1 devil. So then the Pack Guardian dies, we kill a zombie and a devil, and then we've got the 5/6 against all these devils. And I mean, the 5/6 can beat this many devils, so I think that's good. I guess we could kill 1 devil here, so then opponent could kill our 5/6. So then opponent would have 2 devils versus our Pack Guardian, and that can cancel out. So I think this is best. And other good news is we got 2 damage through it as well, and that's cool. So let's just F6 or turn. So that was that kind of like combat phase does not come up often. So I hope you got some value out of seeing like how I worked through that, both deciding how to attack, and I think that my attack was perfect. Like considering how they blocked, that worked out very well. I got 2 extra damage in. I still have my 5/6. And the 5/6 plays well against the opponent's board, so it's hard for them to make blocks such that they can kill my 5/6. Like if they stack all of these creatures on, I just deal all the damage to the crow, and it only takes 5 damage, and so I just eat a crow. It's like jumping with the crow. So this left me in a pretty good spot. I mean, again, we're short 2 cards at this game, so if opponent draws some good stuff, even if they just play 2 things and flip my 3/4 back, that's pretty annoying. And I am only at 11, so they can put some pressure on. Spiteful Motives on the crow. Sure wish I could deadweight that now. That's a big problem. That's probably just going to kill me. So hopefully I rip a Sorin next turn, because like the devils can just ping my face, and so that's probably game if I don't get Sorin here. Or I guess Bound in Silence, or Bound in whatever, Moonsilvers, those will work great. Nope. Yeah, I can't do anything here. That sucks. I think I played pretty well that game. Gave myself a pretty good shot at winning, but yeah, don't have it. We'll just concede. Oh yeah, Watcher would also give me an extra... I had some ways to get some chumps that would let me survive, but... Alright, so on to the next one. So Not Forgotten... It's not the worst thing. These aren't that important. Hope Against Hope, that destroy tap creature thing. And we're going to be on the play. I think this is good. Gossimonger has been performing very well. Yeah, we'll run this. This has been a pretty long video, so I mean, definitely thanks for sticking with it. I think there's a lot here in these games, and I think it goes to show that Shadows of Innistrad is a wonderful limited format. I've been drafting it quite a bit, more so than the last few blocks. I've really enjoyed drafting it. I think it's a format that is going to last. I think there's a lot of depth to it, so it's something that you can just keep drafting, and there's just so many different cool archetypes that you can just make really explosive decks if you get the right draft, and just all this great synergy going on. So really enjoy this format. And the games themselves, just as you can see, like a lot of really interesting games, really interesting decisions, and very skill-based format. So we have a choice, Courier or Cathar. I think I'm going to lead with the Cathar, but they're almost equal, honestly. And Tamiyo's Journal could be really nice if this game ends up grindy. So Bloodsworn, but no red mana, so we're looking really good this game. Probably just go with the Provisioner. Okay, Deadweight. So in that case, I mean, if we don't draw land next turn, like if we go Courier into Provisioner, we get 5 damage in. If we go Provisioner and then we draw land, we can still get 5 damage in if we put the Sensor on and then play Courier. So I suppose Provisioner is actually correct. And could also make a 1/1 flyer if we want. Deal with that Bloodsworn, but I think, given our hand, I suppose we do have the Tamiyo's Journal, so we could go long with this, but I think we're the aggressor currently. So there's a bidding that slows things down quite a bit. Well, we can just play Censor. This is a really good play here. We go Censor. Oh, crap. I should have tapped 2 Force for that. That was a big mistake. But opponent takes it, so that didn't actually matter. So we'll go with the Courier, because if they blocked, I was going to go with Strength of Arms, and then if I had the white mana up, I could go for Cathar, so just was moving a little too fast. But, I mean, this spot looks really good. We aren't worried about Murderous Compulsion, since we've got the True Faith Censor giving Vigilance. I mean, I can't think, like, they don't have a discard outlet in play, so we're not worried about something crazy getting dropped on our turn. And they probably don't have the second red for Devil's Playground yet. So they just drew their red. So this game's looking quite good. For next turn, it'll be kind of interesting if we want to get like full value out of our creatures, or whether we want to use our mana more efficiently. We might just want to drop the Tamiyo's Journal. Okay, Spiteful Motives. It's a lot of damage. Militia Captain is really nice though. So, very interesting spot. I mean, I'm hoping that they double block our Provisioner here rather than blocking the Courier, because I want the Militia Captain to flip. And then we get to Strength of Arms. I suppose if they just block Courier, we can still Strength and then Militia Captain. Unless if they double block Courier, that would be crazy. And I think I just need the extra damage, so I don't think I can just leave back Courier here. And hopefully they go for the double block. Okay, so we'll Strength, because we get a 1/1 token because of the equipment. Then we get to play Handwear Captain. And I think we leave the sensor on there. So the opponent has a lot of pressure on us from the Bloodsworn. We do get one chump blocker in Cathar. Obviously, if they have a removal spell, it won't be able to chump. But we're hoping that we have to force them to use their removal spells now. If they have Mountain Devil's Playground, then that's basically game. But it's very unlikely, because we know they didn't have a mountain. They would have had to draw a mountain and already had the playground out. If they play it next turn, we might still lose, but this turn we might still be okay. Uh-oh. Oh boy. That's a problem. So, that's so bad for us. The way the math works out, that's pretty ridiculous. Not only they just gain 8 life, which means that they're just not under pressure anymore, but it literally put them into exactly lethal here. Okay, so they kill that, so we don't get to flip our captain. We get to clue, though. Hope we draw removal. We have a lot of removal in our deck. Confront. So obviously dead to removal. So we get the clue token, so hopefully they block the militia captain. We confront. And hope to draw Bound in Moonsilver. Yes! Okay, okay. Alright, we got a shot here. That's what I would call a good draw. And it can still, hasten vampires, but not a lot of vampires fly for this mana. So I think we're looking really good. I mean, no Devil's Playground, but that's also very unlikely. 2 cards in hand have to be Mountain Playground. Okay, back to our turn. So, I think we just put everything out on the board. Let's attack with everything. They don't have any discard outlets. And then we go Courier and flashback the Cathar. And then I think even if they have Playground, this is lethal. And 6 land plus X spell would do it. I think we got it. Yes, alright. Close one. Had we not had the Bound by Moonsilver, so we would chump for a turn. I think we would lose. Murderous Compulsion looking a little bit better, with opponent going for those spiteful plays. It's generally not very good against their deck because they're just so token heavy, and they just have a couple small flyers, so it's not the best. But I mean, if they do spiteful up a flyer, it's certainly nice to take care of. But I think we'll just keep it. Watch from the Web seems nice. Tamio's Journal still seems nice. I mean, these games have been very fast, but I think there's potential for them to kind of slow down and just become like an attrition battle between opponents' tokens and my clues. Okay, those hands serviceable. Be nice to have a 2-drop. Pack Guardian, that's really, really good against opponent. Like, it can blow out a Giss's Bidding pretty well. Uh-oh, Air Falcon Wrath. Well, that's probably game. Like, that card is ridiculous in opponent's deck. They can just drop Giss's Bidding next turn. That's... I mean, I guess we're not dead. Like, we have Shepherd if they don't have removal, but... Oh, they didn't play a second land. So what's... I guess we're okay for now? They don't have the second land. Okay, well... time to get to business. Oof. So... I think given our hand, I think Spectral Shepherd is probably the best play here. I mean, Courier forces opponent to flip. Ooh, actually, that's pretty nice. Like, if the opponent doesn't draw their third land, I play Courier. Like, they kind of just have to sit back on Falcon Wrath. That's pretty nice. And then I guess I could play Shepherd with Confront up. And the benefit of going for Shepherd is that next turn I can go for Courier plus Town Gossipmonger. And basically trading Shepherd for air. The opponent might just sit back on the air also. I'll go with Shepherd. So this isn't as good if opponent doesn't get the third land. If they get their third land, this is better. And they got it, it's a mountain. And they just have a Forge Master. Oh, and a Deadweight. That sucks. Well, the Courier play would have ended up way better in that case. Yeah, maybe I should go for Pack Guardian. I don't know. Pack Guardian isn't the best against opponent's board. I also have the Sorin, so yeah, I might want to just get up to 6 mana if I can get a Swamp. Black Source. But like Pack Guardian trying to ambush here, I mean, opponent basically is forced to flip, and then I take 3, and then the Forge Master I eat with the token. But I kind of like just waiting a turn on that, just getting these two out. Yep, they have the bidding. That sucks. I wish they just didn't draw their third land for a little bit, but it seems like their hand's just about perfect. Unfortunately, we gotta flip the Forge Master. But this next turn will actually work out pretty well with Pack Guardian. If opponent just goes for a big attack and doesn't have anything in particular. Because the Gossipmonger can actually take out the Werewolf. So this could be a really good spot here. The problem is opponent has 3 spells in hand. We know that, and they have their perfect mana. So like it's just going to be really hard to win this. But I mean, this is the play that'll do it if this works well. I guess they could have spiteful motives. There's a very good chance they have it, and that could really blow us out. But what you gonna do? So, I mean, I think we need to take this out. We could just go 2-3 on 2-2 and 4-3 on 2-2 and then swing back next turn, but I think we're just taking too much damage that way. So let's put that there, and let's just slow things down. So in response to that, we pump it tapping the Wolf. And we tap the Wolf, so if opponent has Murderous Compulsion, they can't hit the Pack Guardian. And let's see what they have. They got the Spiteful Motives. I mean, if it goes on a creature, at least it's not on the flyer, but we'll have to draw either our Swamp, and 2 of the sources of black come to play tap, so that's not too likely, or Bounded Moonsilver to be able to come back. If opponent's draw wasn't like so ridiculous, I think we would have a good shot at this game. Like we're putting up a good defense, but like it's just too many things went right for them. Okay, throttle. So throttle is actually totally fine. We can go confront to save our wolf token. That's definitely worth it. And so we go to 10. But we play 2 spells, that flips back. Oh, we got the orchard. Almost a swamp. Sack the clue. Come on, give me something. Ugh, journal. Well, maybe change my mind about the journal in this matchup. Alright, so question. How aggressive do we get here? We attack for 9. Ah, this journal. My opponent could have that +3/+1 pump spell. I mean, they don't have Spiteful Motives. They would have played that instead. So, and they might have Devil's Playground. Like, they have 2 spells in hand. My Playground, we might just lose. We do get to Soren next turn, and we get to gain life off of it, which is pretty sweet. So we might just go for like a big race here. Or we could keep the wolf back to block the Forge Master. And if the opponent has Spiteful Motives, that's not even that bad. And I suppose I guess the wolf, trading the wolf off, like offering that up, is better than the courier. If the opponent doesn't have a Devil's Playground like very soon, I actually like our spot here. Obviously having Sword in play is really good. I mean, is this taking too much damage to send everything in? I mean, opponent takes 9, they go to 8, and then I'm threatening lethal for next turn. They could very easily have a Murderous Compulsion here, so it might not actually threaten lethal for the following turn. Though I mean, I could blind flip Soren, but I don't think I would. I think I'd have a better play than that. I guess if they do just like Grotesque Mutation, it's just not very good for like the race. So I'll just send these 2. I mean, if they play like a cheap removal spell on wolf, I could also attack with a wolf and then leave back the courier to block. It's like drawing off the clue is nice, but let's just send these 2. And oh no, it flips. Wow, this whole time, I can't believe it flips. That is such a huge error. That's so bad. That is so bad. Alright, well, I'll take it. Forgot it flips. Just such a long turn. I felt like I'd played a spell, right? Okay, Murderous Compulsion. At least it's not Devil's Playground. I can't believe it didn't attack. So, there's Loam Dryad. It's so bad. Opponent would be at 8. But we have Soren, so question is, how do we want to do this? We can Soren and just deal 2 to the air, attack for 5, and then Soren would go to 1. We die to Grotesque Mutation or Spiteful Motives if we make that play. We could also just throw all of Soren at the air, just like gain 6 life. Then put opponent to 5. I don't think it's necessary to put everything there. I mean, even just keeping like 1 on it seems a little better. I guess we could put 3 on and then just like leave the courier back to chump for a turn. We get a clue, then the next turn we could take out the werewolf. Hold on, are we going to attack? I think we are. So like, how important is second clue next turn? I don't think it's that important. I'll just attack with the courier. Like, we have Loam Dryad plus Tamio's Journal. It's a pretty decent play. really feel bad about not getting that 2 damage in, but let's see if we can make up for it here. Oh, they could have Rush of whatever as their last card. I wonder if I should play around that. I mean, obviously they would have used it there. But, I don't know, I kind of like having Soren at 4. It's tough to say. So opponent has 2 cards in hand. Like, they have those 2 pump spells that kill me, so, I mean, obviously not just taking a hit to my face here. And if they do attack my face, then it's like pretty obvious they actually have the card that kills me compared to just attacking Soren. So that's actually a pretty nice tell, because they're not actually going to cast it here, but it would tell me that they actually have it. Looks like they're going face, so yeah, I mean, that basically says that they have that card. And if it's grotesque, ooh, that's interesting, because if it's grotesque mutation, we'd want to go for 3. Accomplice, okay, bound in Moonsilver, that's cool. Yeah, we have some good plays here. So I think he has that pump spell. We could just plus Soren. I don't like attacking. I mean, I guess we can just like kill the Forge Master here, and then bound the 2/2. That seems good. I mean, they might have the pump spell here, but I think that's okay. If they have Grotesque Mutation, I don't think that's a problem here. So we bound that. Attack with Courier, play Loam Dryad, and then we've got lethal next turn. And then Soren can get rid of a 2 toughness creature. So pretty crazy. I mean, it looks like that 2 damage isn't going to matter. If they have Devil's Playground, then the 2 damage could very easily matter, because we're going to start plussing Soren and hoping to hit some spells. No way. They have it. Oh, Necropod. Okay. I mean, that's really good, but we can bound by Moonsilver it and win, so easy game. 2 damage and attack for 4. And that's the draft. Wow, that was a crazy tournament. Yeah, that's one of the crazier ones I've played on these videos, so if you made it to the end, congrats. Good job. You picked a good one to watch all the way through. So yeah, like just so many good teaching moments, I think, in that draft of just, you know, working through a complex combat situation against the Devil's Playground. You know, deciding both like when you're attacking, predicting how your opponent can block correctly, and then once they do block in that situation against the Playground with, you know, all these pings going on, you know, actually taking the time to do the math and you know, make the best play, and those kind of decisions definitely add up. And in this type of format where, I mean, yeah, some games end really quickly, but the other games tend to go really long, and just lots of incremental advantages every turn can be gained. So yeah, great format. Hope you enjoyed that. Got a nice rare draft out of that one, and I'll see you next time.